welcome to episode 85 of TrustyHogs, and I'm eating a lozenge just to piss off Andrew, and so are you. Sorry, Andrew. We're the Lozenge Boys now.
The Lozenge Boys.
It's a podcast where we talk about our gorgeous lives. We listen to your listener problems. We think, gosh, glad it's not me. And then we help you solve it.
How long do you think we could take me just speaking as though I'm Helen Bauer before people are like, that's not Helen?
Milliseconds.
Really?
Milliseconds, yeah. She's just a decibel neither of us could reach. Oh, yeah. Helen's still away. So we've got bloody pets in again.
Yeah, I'm here eating the same lozenge.
Is it just withering away in your mouth? How have you held on to it the whole week? Where'd you put it? What'd you do?
Behind my ear.
Oh, grim. Behind your ear.
Behind my ear, and then I came back to the studio, whacked it back in again.
Did it have to be like sort of chipped off?
Mm-hmm.
Sexy.
Once I was in the car and I put a fruit pastel in my mouth and I fell asleep and I woke up and the fruit pastel was still like had its structural integrity, and I just woke up and started chewing on it. It was amazing. Imagine like waking up with a fruit pastel in your mouth. How good that is.
To be honest, I think people will still feel like Helen Bauer is here because I am disgusted. Our guest today is the wonderful Dee Allum. She's amazing.
I love her. She's a fantastic person.
She's so funny. I'm so glad she's here.
She's really funny. She's really smart. Very kind. Mm-hmm. Is what I'll say.
We think you'll enjoy her. Hey, enjoy episode 85.
85!
I hate you.
Through the fog, step forth the trusty hogs. Yeah, you're gonna give them your problems and they will solve them. Or maybe they won't, and that's your problem. They'll have guests and Andrew White on the tech. Oh, it's Helen and Catherine as the trusty hogs. Trust the trusty hogs, or maybe not.
You've been back a week now. Are you well adjusted to the Britain of old?
It's nasty. I got back at the airport and no one had shouted at me for the whole month when I was in Melbourne.
Really?
And then you get back to the airport and like people are, keep to the left, we're coming through. Everybody on the right hand side, if you've got a UK passport. Like everyone's so
they're not
shouty and
wrong.
angry.
There's a tense vibe in London at the minute. I was thinking a lot all week about what you said about talking to your therapist about existing in public spaces as if everyone isn't actively trying to spite me.
Yeah.
And that's just not my mode. My mode is like, what the fuck have you done that to me?
But you just have to remember
bad.
that everyone feels that way. Everyone feels angry and like they're a victim of something.
We gotta de-escalate, man.
Yeah, you've just got to remember, I'm not a victim. I can be powerful in this situation.
And also, like, fine, he stepped out in front of me. I'm sure he didn't mean it, probably.
Fine.
He just doesn't think that I exist or that women matter.
Fine. He stepped out in front of me. He spat in my face. He called me a horrid bitch, but it wasn't personal.
It wasn't personal. I swear to God. My equivalent of being shouted at this week is I feel like everyone's coughing at me.
Yeah, but they're not. They're coughing with you.
And that's important. I'm like, guys, have a listen to the Lozenge Boys. We got some tips for you.
That would be so bad if Helen Bauer came back and we changed the locks to the podcast studio and we were now called the Lozenge Boys.
I like it. Suck on this.
That's a catchphrase. Get rid of the chicken dye bouncing mugs and replace it with a suck on this mug.
A straw cuppy, obviously.
Yeah, we could get
cuppy.
one of these.
Yes, suck on this.
Big arrow up there.
Business. If you can't see what Chloe just held up, it's
my dick. That was funny.
I miss Helen so much.
Honestly, on this podcast, this is now a long time that I've spent recording with you in this studio, and it always bewilders me what you're gonna laugh at and what you're gonna be absolutely disgusted by. You're gonna be so angry.
I think I'm a pretty consistent woman, so it's interesting that you're so confuddled. But there we are.
Okay. I would say I have a 50% hit rate with you of what you find funny and what you find appalling.
What I'm highly disapproving of.
Yeah.
It's higher than Helen's, to be fair. Mainly, I feel like every time I hear a clip of our show, it's just me going, Helen!
Yeah.
I'm like, it's nice not to have to do
That's the
week.
dynamic. She monologues and you remonstrate.
It's actually really nice to be with another parent, just one week. Just two on the trot is gorgeous. You're looking very well.
Does that mean thin?
No.
No, because
I'm not your aunt.
No, but you know, like we've had this conversation before where like I've lost weight and people will say I look very well, and I'm like, oh, that means thin.
Oh, classic, yeah.
And then
we hate fat people. Yes, our society is fucked.
Clip that up.
No, but you're dead right. With the I used to do that 100%. The correlation between like you look well and weight loss was like pretty universally true for me. But I meant like you're glowing.
Thank you. But it does get you into a crazy headspace when people are
it's
like,
true.
Everyone's like, you look well, and then when someone says you don't look like well, I'm like, well, they must think I've put on so much weight, and then.
Sorry, who's saying to you you don't look that well?
No, they won't say you don't look well. They just won't say it.
Yeah, okay.
You look unwell.
You don't look that well. What? No, I was like, who are these people?
Everyone's saying you look well, but I don't think you look that well.
No, you're right though. You're right. You get an absurd amount of compliments when you lose weight, and then the silence becomes very loud when you don't, and it is incredibly frustrating.
Well, I am glowing, and I'm sorry to labour the point. I think it's the Melbourne air.
Have you been to Australia, Chloe?
Yes, I've been to Australia.
The air is cleaner, but the air everywhere is cleaner.
The air is cleaner. The water is nicer. Like the shit I was doing to my body across that month. Like I was drinking until 6 a.m. like 5 days in a row, and I still woke up and my skin was so much fresher than when I was living in London and just like living a normal, healthy lifestyle.
Okay, well, it feels like you tested the theory, and that's important and good. Did you go swimming in the sea?
Once on the last night.
Just once?
Yeah. Me and Josie Long and
you're crazy.
Her partner Johnny. But it was really special, like on that last night.
I bet it was for them. They were trying to have a nice night or a nice romantic dip.
No, they've been together for a long, long time. They have two children.
So it's rare they get any time alone.
I was a fucking welcome relief. They were like trying to hang out with me at all, like just bored of each other. They got nothing to say.
Should we have a romantic dip in the sea one time when we get to leave the kids behind?
Then me,
I'm a romantic lubricant.
Josie, I think there's a jellyfish. Josie, I think I'm being bitten by a shark.
Astonishing. Hey, where the hell are we in the calendar? What month is it?
May.
Will you tell me about you then?
Oh yeah, I was literally just thinking, like, have I missed like a Paddy's Day? But that was March.
No.
Then I thought, is it Mother's Day?
What?
I just thought, you know the way sometimes we met Helen always is on top of the holiday, the season's greetings episode.
She's good at that, yeah.
And I just wondered, like, shit, have I missed Halloween?
No, what do you mean?
Nothing happened to me. The coronation would have happened by now.
Oh, I couldn't give a fuck about that. That's fine.
Yeah.
No. What's going on with me? It's a great question. Well, I am very sorry to report that exercise has been making me happier.
Oh, that's annoying, isn't it?
It's a real fucking shame, actually.
What have you been doing?
I've harped on about it already, but I'll say it again. FS8.
Oh no, what's this?
You know how Anya does F45?
Yeah, but she doesn't anymore because did you know that the only reason she was doing it is because they continued the free trial by accident, and so she wasn't paying anything for it, and then they realised that she hadn't been paying anything for it, and then started charging her the like £50 a week. So she just cancelled the contract, and if they'd gone back and charged her for everything that they used, she would have owed them £2,500.
What? Mm-hmm. Why didn't they?
Don't know. Their mistake.
Well, I mean, if I can get on that deal, I absolutely will.
Anyway, sorry, you carry
But
on.
to be honest with you, I'm basically on that deal because a beautiful listener who listens to the podcast works there and got me I had to do this challenge, but I get free access while I do the challenge, which is you have to do 30 classes in 45 days.
Right. Fucking hell, Catherine.
It's so great.
When you sign up for something, you sign up for something.
I really do. But it's honestly been amazing because I had just stopped learning to drive. Oh my God, I haven't spoken to you since I passed my test.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
I passed my test, Chloe.
That's
Are you proud
incredible.
of me?
I'm so proud. Of course I'm proud of you.
I really enjoyed your message, actually, because Chloe messaged me from Australia and was like, I just found out you found out when you were listening to the episode.
Yeah.
And that you screamed when you didn't. I was so happy. I was like, woohoo.
Yeah.
Dad's proud of me, man.
Yeah, no, I fully screamed in my room.
So happy. I was thrilled. But yeah, so I was like, okay, I have this void. And it came along at the perfect time where I needed something to do like with extreme regularity because I was probably taking quite a lot of driving lessons.
I also think that 45 days is your like exact limit of obsession.
It's true.
So like by 45 days you'll be done with it. That's
no,
enough.
I actually think I'll stick with this. I love it.
No.
I will.
The amount of times I've heard that come out of your mouth.
I'm still with HelloFresh. Okay? I'm still with HelloFresh.
Yeah, because you keep forgetting to fucking cancel.
No, I love HelloFresh. Okay. Truly.
Some things stick, okay.
Some things definitely do stick. FS8, we're talking circuit and reformer machines.
What's a reformer machine?
Okay, so it looks like a torture device, like you're being put on the rack.
Sick.
And then like an incredibly stern but gentle former dancer will come over to you and correct your posture alignment technique.
On the torture rack.
And then you move to the next section and there's another former dancer to tell you that you're not lifting heavy
enough. And then you come and then you move on to the next.
It's great though.
You really have to wipe down the machines in this place.
They do give you a wipe. But it's so great. I love it so much.
Do you feel really fit? Do you feel really good?
I feel like my posture's better and I feel like I'm getting stronger. And what I like about it is they're not all really hard classes. So if I were making myself go to the gym 5 days a week, I'd go incredibly hard in every session and then quit like 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
Because I often treat exercise like punishment. It's so varied there. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's quite like stretchy and gentle. And that's good for me, I think, to just like, it feels quite mindful. Also, I haven't taken an hour for myself most days in any time I can remember. So
that's really good. Where is it?
Oxford Street, off Oxford Street.
I've heard of it.
It's really fancy.
In Melbourne, sorry, I keep talking about it. But in Melbourne, because like,
to be fair, FS8 is my Melbourne. I've mentioned it about 8 times on the podcast.
You've mentioned it FS8 times.
Yeah.
And that's your limit. Is that what the 8 stands for? The amount of times you're allowed to talk about it before it becomes insufferable? Maybe we should call veganism like vegan 7.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Go on.
Like there's this thing that Ed was telling me about called dirty bulking, where you basically like you eat a fuck ton and then you can lift so heavy. And because I was eating so much in Melbourne, my lifting just got like really good. And so I've like, my belly size has increased, but across here,
those muscles,
I'm
though?
fucking, there's some shit going on.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some good movement.
Were you going to the gym with Ed?
No, I was just going to, I was swimming, I was running, I was gymming.
That's great.
Because I'm training for another half marathon.
Are you? Which one?
Hackney half.
When is it?
May the something.
Okay.
Do you want to come watch me?
No.
Come watch me.
No, I don't want to.
Why? Just come to the pub after.
I'll come to the pub after.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch you run a race I'm not running.
Watch me eat the amount that I burned during
I do
run.
enjoy watching you do that.
Get tanked up and then be sick.
I've never seen a more panicked post-run eater than you.
Yeah, because I get
starving immediately.
I get so hungry and then I get really upset and angry.
Andrew, what are you doing?
Can I not do anything subtly?
No, I see everything. Whoa! Look at those guns. Take a picture of those guns, baby.
I'm trying to get as big as Ruby and Rach from Shell.
Oh my god, they're ripped. They are ripped.
Yours is bigger than mine.
More like TrustyHogs.
It's getting there though, isn't it?
Mine isn't bigger than yours.
It's getting there.
That's sick, man. Hey, we're coming for you, Ruby and Rach. They're probably not listening. They don't listen.
They should listen. That's bad friendship.
Do you think you're a bad friend if you don't listen to somebody's podcast?
If they're as close a friend as you.
Thank you, that's kind. But I don't know. I get it. There's a lot of podcasts. There's a lot of podcasts. But no, you're right. It's rude if they're not.
How close a friend do you have to be? Do you think you have to be? Like,
I think you're my only friend who listens every week. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I just like it.
That's so nice.
It just makes me feel happy.
That's very sweet.
I thought you were going to be like, I listen every week. And I was like, that doesn't count.
I literally don't sometimes. No, I'm joking. I listen every week. I was going to say, I feel like if you are closer friends, you are allowed not to listen.
That's what I think. So, like, my partner would never listen because why would they want to hear that?
What, because you've already told all the anecdotes?
Yeah, or they'll be like, it's just going to piss me off because it's like stories from your perspective.
Yeah.
And that's not what I think happened.
Right. She doesn't get a right of reply. Mm-hmm. Some fucking dirt then. What's she
all
doing?
Right, that's good. No, she hasn't done. I think she's been very nice. She's been very nice. She's actually, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast. Maybe
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Oh no, save that for the extras.
No, sorry, that is. Maybe have I said on the podcast that she's starring in the open air?
I don't think you have.
Regent's Park Open Air Theatre. There is a sort of like a new take on Robin Hood, and she's in that. Which is
it a feminist retelling, Catherine? Because if it is, I won't be there. They did it to the Ghostbusters. I'm not going to let them do it to Robin.
Yo, you hated Kate McKinnon in that cute outfit, did you?
No, that did everything for me. Like, even like that shit Charlie's Angels reboot I fucking loved because it was just like women being badass.
Are you kidding? That was one of the hottest series of films I've ever seen when I was like a teen. I was like...
No, but the reboot with Kristen Stewart and that
I didn't see that, but that's... I mean,
it
that would
was
be so...
bad,
yeah,
but
it's still hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, she's hot.
She did like this dance... She just did a dance.
Yeah.
She just did a dance. Need I say anymore?
That was enough for me.
And I was into the dance.
I respect the hell
What
of it.
can I say?
Yeah, so I've been hello freshing. I've been exercising. I mean, I'm such a middle-aged woman. I'm dating a younger person than me, and she calls days where we, and they're so rare, days where we go to bed before midnight, drink a peppermint tea post-dinner, and I've cooked. Catherine days. They're like, well, basically what she calls a boring day, she calls a Catherine day.
That's sweet.
I'm like, they're so restorative. And she's like, I do feel better after them. And I'm like, we're not calling the day.
What, so she never goes to bed before 12?
She's just like a very happy-go-lucky, like, yeah, I can go out for more drinks. Yeah, I can stay. And it doesn't seem to affect her, like, getting up in the morning or, like...
What time does she get up in the morning?
Oh, much earlier than me.
What time?
She's usually up before her alarm, which goes off at 8:25
That's
morning.
fucked up. If you're not... If I'm getting up at 8:25, I have to be asleep.
At 11, to my mind.
12:15.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're better than me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like a solid 9.
No, I like to sleep 8. I like to set my alarm 8 hours from when I put my phone away.
That's what she does.
And then usually I'll sleep for 7.5.
Yeah, that's what she'll do. But she'd never sleep past 8:25 just because she'd come in late.
But what if she's going at 2?
Yeah, she'd just be up at 8:25.
3?
Probably.
Catherine, I'm going to say it. 4?
No, then she'd sleep till like
12.
9:30 and be like, we've wasted the day.
What's wrong with her?
She's just young, I think. She was just young.
Yeah, but she's older than me.
I guess she's just like a Labrador. She's just like, good morning. We're like the first thing she does is turn on the radio, open the curtains, woke
up today, feeling the way.
I don't know the reference, but I assume
I'll do the whole song.
Please do. I'm enjoying this.
Is it a musical?
It's Good Morning Baltimore from
yeah.
Hairspray.
Good morning, Baltimore.
I love it.
It's really good.
How exciting, catchy. Is that from Hairspray?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Nailed it. But yeah, no, so she's just a morning gal. And apparently I am. I can be a morning girl, but I can also be I'm an unpredictable waker. You know how some people are like, I'm always a morning person. I'm like, it could really go any way, and test me at your own peril, I'd say.
I can only get anything productive done in the first 4 hours of being awake, but it doesn't matter when those hours are.
Oh, that's good. Whereas I feel like I'm very productive in the morning, provided I've woken up and I'm at my desk before 9. But if I get there at like 10 o'clock, I am a bit like, well, the whole fucking day is gone now.
I can only write for stand up for like 1 hour, 1.5 hours max a day.
Yeah, my creative blocks are about the same.
Right. And then I could move on to like a different creative project and work on that for an hour.
100%.
But yeah, that's not... Because sometimes people are like, I sit down at my desk from 9 and then I finish writing at 5. And it's like, what have you written? It's fucking drivel, probably.
Yeah, and also, like, presumably you just spend half the time just answering emails.
Just like
when do you do your admin? We all do admin.
Yeah.
I can answer an email. I can answer emails all day. I'd be a great secretary.
I could... Fucking hell.
You're right.
Yeah, I think I just choked on my own tongue.
Whoa, was it the lozenge?
No, it wasn't
Lozenge
the lozenge.
boys!
Oh, the lozenge.
Shot down in the height of their prime.
We had one episode, the lozenge boys.
My God, wasn't it good? All that email gear. You just spat on yourself. Are you okay? Have you forgotten how to drink?
I think this is a really practical style of bottle, but I've never drunk out of this kind of bottle before.
I can see you're struggling to use it. Is it your first time today?
What angle do you use? I don't know.
Is it your first time today? Just suck the straw.
It's a straw.
I'm sucking, but from what angle do you want me to suck?
You've never sounded gayer in your whole life. You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Oh no, Chloe. It's not that kind of podcast.
You know it is.
No, it's not.
You know it is.
Shall we bring on the calming energy of a guest?
No,
Sweet
I'm
Jesus,
not
please.
done.
No,
I'm
I
having a
cannot
nice
believe I have to
time.
say this to another co-host.
I'm having a
Please,
really nice
do
time.
not burp into the mic.
I don't
You
want
can have a nice time on the extras, Chloe.
Graham, I miss you,
Gonna
listeners.
sniff the scented
I
candle.
miss you already, listeners.
Please welcome to Trusty Hogs, Dee Allum.
Wow.
That was the one time. That was the one time you were meant to say at the same time as me.
Sorry, go again.
Please welcome to Trusty Hogs.
Please
Welcome.
welcome to Trusty Hogs, Dee Allum.
Woo. Now, we could not make Trusty Hogs without you, and we're so grateful to everyone who donates to our Patreon. If you wish to support us, if we bring you joy and nausea to your lives every Thursday, then please do at patreon.com/TrustyHogs. The first few levels cost as much as a coffee in London, and your support genuinely is what keeps this podcast going.
So for £3 a month, you get early access and all of our vlog content. For £5, which realistically is more like the price of a coffee in London, you get that plus an extra episode a week. So it's like 4 episodes as well as early.
For 10, we add in our live show recordings. At 20, we are crediting you as a producer. We're sending you your own producer mug. At 50, we're sending you executive gifts every 6 months, your own personalised episodes. And let's be honest, Helen is trying to marry
I'm
you.
going to give you a rim job at 50, baby.
Yeah. If you can't afford any of that, we totally get it. We know the times are tough. So thank you so much for listening. And please, please tell your friends, co-workers, relatives, enemies, exes, and people on the bus about our silly show.
Give
That
us a
would be
like,
amazing.
subscribe, share, everything like that. It means so much to us and makes so much of a difference as to how well this podcast runs.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, Dee! Hi!
Hello.
How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
A pleasure. A pleasure. I almost said long-time listener, first-time guest, but I can't make that assumption on your part.
Do you listen?
I have listened.
Yeah, in that way that like sometimes you have to, don't you, when you're going on a podcast?
How many
Yes.
episodes? How many episodes? Put a number on it.
I think I would say 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's
Only
wow.
4. You're not a
Is that
long
not?
term.
Is that not enough?
That's a lot if
episodes?
you're doing it just purely out of research for a podcast you're
I've
going on.
listened to every single episode.
If it's any really,
Yeah, I just find them so funny.
I
That's so
I
nice.
mean the
Chloe.
4 I've listened to so far. I haven't had that much time since finding out I was coming on to today.
No
Who
one
were the
expects
guests on
more
the
of you.
episodes? Or was one of them me?
What is this, a test?
Yes.
For
It
4D?
actually-
Yes, it's a test.
It actually was not.
Who was it? Come on, name
So
names.
we had Maisie Adam,
Nice,
Good.
yeah.
That one.
Good episode, actually.
Solid ep.
Reese Nicholson,
Good choices.
Yep,
Tucson Douglas. Because
really nice.
Great choices.
I mean they're all relatively recent choices. I didn't scroll that far.
I like it. Good for you.
Thank
Don't make it
you.
any harder for yourself than you need
That's
to.
only 3.
That is 3.
Chloe, will you back off? Poor Dee is like, I didn't know it was a test.
And there was
I'm
like a
defending you.
mailbag special one. But
Oh,
I
Good save.
well
She's done her homework.
I yes, I have.
Don't
I
act like
know.
she hasn't done her homework.
I'm-
She
I'm
knows what's
prepared.
up.
What's
She
your
knows what's up.
What's your favourite thing about the podcast? What's your favourite thing?
Why are you like this? Why are you? Yes,
Catherine.
thank
I
you,
don't know.
Dee. Yes.
I had a big pizza
Blame
for
the
lunch,
audience.
and I feel like I'm having like the burst of energy, and I'm gonna slump real soon.
Yeah, I can tell. It's like you're acting out now, but we won't be able to wake you up in a minute.
Exactly. So
Wow.
I'm giving Dee all of the grief now because
Right.
I'm gonna back
Get
off
out of
her.
the way.
I'm
That's
gonna back
important.
off her in the second
That's
half.
important. Dee, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
What's going on for you?
I'm slightly tired
Okay.
because me and my girlfriend recently got a new dog.
What?
Fuck off.
I've got
Okay, initially that started. May I say that story started out so badly. I was like, well, that's not
Oh,
a great
I know.
energy to bring to the party.
No,
And then
I'm
it was
tired.
like, you got a puppy. Wait a second. First of all, how exciting! I could hear the listeners at home being like, oh, thank God, a lesbian, and also being like, I'm sorry, what kind of dog we talking?
We're talking a Maltese dog,
Cute. What color?
white.
Oh my God,
white,
okay,
fluffy
fine.
little
Can we see
ball of
pictures?
white. You can see pictures.
And can we put pictures on the?
You can.
Yes!
Yes. We can get that on the socials.
What's the puppy's name?
Can we guess it?
Can you guess the name? Okay,
we
yeah,
guess
I'll
the
show you.
name?
I'll show you a picture.
Show a
and you
picture
can
and we'll
get
guess the name.
Like,
terrible podcast content.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah, well, you've
everyone in the room is going to be
you
delighted.
clearly have listened. You know the vibe.
Hold on. I have
Okay.
to-
But I have other questions. How
Yeah.
long have you been with your girlfriend?
I've been with my girlfriend just over 3 years.
And do you mind me asking your ages?
We're both. She turned 26 last month. I turned 26 next month.
26, been together 3 years, getting
a dog.
getting
It's
an
a big
animal
move.
that
That
lives
is a big move.
for like probably 10 years.
It's a big move. Would you like to see?
Huge
Here is
move.
the dog sleeping
That's a sweet
on
little
the floor while my
Oh
girlfriend
my god!
How old
works
is
at
the
her
dog?
desk.
Cute.
Well, so listen, we've actually had the dog about 6 months now.
Whoa, but you're still not getting sleep.
Well, so here's the thing. I'll just show you also, Catherine, so you can get a sense
Okay.
of what's going on here.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
It's-
So
she's
cute.
cute.
No, so
She's
she-
gorgeous.
she-
Sorry, we're
She-
gendering the dog.
We're,
She's
we're
so
gonna
cute.
we're gonna do like 5 questions to
To
work
get
out
to the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it a human name?
Yes. There are people called this name for sure.
Okay, but not many. That's all. That's one.
I've never met one,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it's a human name.
Is it? Well, that's all the questions.
My question is, were the photos you chose gonna give us a clue to the name?
No, you couldn't.
Okay.
No.
She's not called like drowsy.
Regrettably, no. That would have been a good name.
Regressive sleep patterns is
Is
not a
it?
catchy
Is
name.
it like a long name and then you shorten the name?
It's unshortenable as far as I'm aware.
So is it like 1 or 2 syllables?
That's most names. That doesn't help you at all.
2 syllables.
It's 2 syllables.
Anna.
Anna the dog.
Daisy the
No.
dog.
Daisy is closer, I suppose.
If
you get
is
it,
it a flower?
It's not a flower. It's not that close. It's just sort of vibes wise.
Donna.
What is she? What's her name? What's her bloody
Her
name?
name is Velma.
Oh, we wouldn't have
Great,
got
we would
that.
have been close.
No.
Closer. You could have given us so many clues that would have taken us there.
Scooby Doo.
I didn't realise I had to give you clues.
Lesbian icon.
Well,
Orange turtleneck.
yeah. We got her. All of her like sort of dog paraphernalia, like her collar
Yeah.
and her lead and her harness are all orange, like
Heaven!
like the Scooby Doo character.
Do you
This is
like
so
that
cool.
character?
Yeah.
Does your
I'm-
girlfriend like the character?
Well, I feel like it wasn't necessarily about the character. It was just.
It's
was,
a great name.
I mean, the lesbian thing was a bit of a sort of meme,
yeah.
and also it's just a sweet sound name, little Velma.
It's
Little
a
Velma,
gorgeous
the-
That is
name.
cute.
Velma the dog.
I think that's not far from being like Donna. Like calling
Yeah,
it.
Donna seems a bit more like Donna. You know?
Calling
Yeah, I don't know. That I
calling a
think
dog
Velma and
Donna
Donna are in
is
the
it?
same wheelhouse.
Yeah, but it's like a very like human. It's a very to me it's a very human name.
Yeah, she's a human dog, in that she doesn't like to be alone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think Maltese dogs, they're very small
They're
and
needy.
they are very needy. We were expecting her to be less needy when we got her, because we got her when she was 6 months old, which is older than
Yeah.
the kind of traditional
Yeah.
puppy age. And we thought that we were going to be able to just leave her straight away. We haven't been able to leave her for any number of
Can you
minutes
take her to
What?
gigs
in the
and
last
stuff?
6 months. I've taken her to gigs a couple of times. But then I have to go on stage, and she doesn't like that.
Does she cry?
She does, yeah.
Right.
So it's sort of.
Oh, that's nice though.
Wow.
Does it feel like a little bit nice that she loves you that much?
It is, yes. It is quite complicated though. It's quite a complicated.
Yeah, you've bought yourself a massive burden.
Yeah, a little bit.
And
But
I
it's
love
also-
dogs. Let me be clear. I love a dog, but they got to be able to be left alone.
Yeah. Well, we have people we can leave her with.
Okay,
so
good.
we can go and it's like we live in like this apartment building. We have a couple of other people in the building who can look after her.
Okay, great.
Who also have dogs.
Great.
So like it's just take a little bit of planning. That's all.
Yeah. You're basically parents
But
now.
are you happy to have her?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
She's-
Ooh, that
she's-
dog's going back. Don't get attached to
It's-
Velma,
listen,
dear listeners.
it's already
Velma's
been-
going back to the farm.
She turned 1 last week. It's too late. It's too late.
Did you have a party?
We did. No, we gave her like
Because you're not committed.
We gave her a chicken foot instead.
That's quite sweet, I guess.
In
She
Melbourne,
was a big fan.
I
Yeah,
ate
but-
chicken claws for the first time.
Any good?
Like, honestly, the rankest thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Really?
I didn't have great PR chicken feet.
Well, I really wanted to be like respectful to the culture of the people whose restaurant it was, but I was like, no, this is bad. And what happened was we were in this restaurant where you like sit there and at lunch it's like dim sum, so they bring a trolley round and you just pick off the trolley whatever you want. And the woman, I was with Hugh Davies, the woman rolled the trolley over, saw Hugh, went, chicken. And then as she was saying feet, she looked at me and went, oh, no, you don't want that. And then I went, no, we could be adventurous and try it, and plucked the chicken feet off. And it was it was actively horrific. Like,
Can you describe it? Like what's
Slimy.
the slimy? Slimy.
slimy?
That's the one bad thing I didn't think you'd associate.
Yeah,
with
me
chickpeas.
too,
It's
I
gotta
have
be
to
hard
say.
and
No, slimy.
scaly. Oh,
Slimy.
Really?
And almost like farmyardy.
well, that
Oh,
makes
God.
sense.
You know the way like a if you eat goat, it tastes like goat smells.
Not really. I haven't had goat, I don't think.
Yeah. Well,
But wait, question. Did Hugh like it?
no, he hated it too.
Okay.
We made
but does he usually like it?
No.
Okay. So
We
she
made
was wrong in
ourselves
all of her.
She was wrong in all of her assumptions, but I was wrong in trying to prove her wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
I should have just been like, yeah, I'm white, that's fine.
Yeah, it's a no from me.
But you've never tried them.
I've never tried chicken.
We'll
foot.
have a little munch on Velma's next time.
I'm good. I'm fine
Yeah.
without having any.
I think there's some stuff dogs should do and some stuff people should do, and that's okay.
Yeah, there should be a line of separation. Like with names, I think Velma is as human a name as I am comfortable giving.
As
a
you're
dog.
willing to go.
I think that's maximum level.
Oh, really?
Well, like, there's people go crazy.
Do you
People
not-
go insane.
Do you not think it's
Yeah.
really funny if you called like a little dog Tony?
I mean, if it's so the second dog that we may hypothetically get
You don't even like
What?
the first one.
in, I want to say
What are you
5
talking
years.
about?
Whole-
5 years? You won't even know yet. You're still just barely in your 30s. Why are you willing to spend all...
If
Okay.
there's hypothetical, but the point is, we've decided what the second dog would be called. And the
This
second
is such
dog,
lesbian
the
behaviour.
second dog would be called ASAC Hank Schrader, and it would be like a
I don't get
tiny
it.
little like French bull. Have you seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Hank, you know Hank, his brother-in-law who works for the DEA.
Oh, yeah.
ASAC Hank Schrader,
Okay, very nice.
but like his little tiny little dog.
That's good stuff.
That is
ASAC
funny.
Hank Schrader.
Wow, that
That's
was
the
really
plan.
lost on me, even though I've seen the show. That's so lame that I don't have much of a memory. That'll happen, I guess, when you're into your mid-30s and you'll forget maybe the pain of having the first dog and be willing to have a second. What are you thinking?
I don't know. But like,
what are the good things about having Velma?
I think there's lots of things that are really good. I think it's just, like with any dog, I think what I'm telling myself at least is that there's a period where, the dog's got to get used to you and you've got to get used to the dog. And I think that's what we've had.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently 18 months is when they start being like a proper adult dog.
Right.
So we've still got another 6 months of just
Okay.
being a little bit odd, a little bit uncomfortable with certain
We've all had
situations.
awkward teens.
Needs to be walked twice a day at this point. That will not be the case later. But like, there's lots of things that are good. Like
Yeah.
going outside every day.
Yeah,
Have a
that's
walk.
true.
I
That
live-
being
I live
forced
very
to do that's
close-
good.
I live very close to a park.
Can you
Nice.
let her
So
off lead
just
and she goes
let
running
her off
around?
lead. She's got good recall.
Really?
Oh, that's amazing.
We've trained this dog. This is like
Have
a
you?
fucking. This is like an MI5 dog.
Oh, that's sick.
That's
she goes.
really good.
She goes between your legs.
What?
She goes up
What do you mean up?
on
She
her
goes
hind
up on her hind
hind
legs. That's so cool.
When
little-
she between
like a
your legs, she
little-
goes up. Oh,
She goes up, she goes
Thank
down. Yeah, no, she's smart. She's
so
clever.
it's strange that she's good at all that stuff, but she's still so whiny.
Well, she's not. So like, there's two things we're struggling with. I mean, I feel like
Whiny's your word, Chloe. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Huge choice
I'm
about
happy
somebody
to own
else's
that.
dog.
I am deeply offended. But there's two things that I think that areas that we're working on,
Right.
Yeah.
which are being able to go to sleep more kind of reliably, like
Yes.
between the hours of 10 and 8 or whatever. She's reliably
You
asleep.
sleep 10 to 8?
That's when we need her to be asleep.
Yeah.
Ideally, it would be
winding down.
midnight till 10 or what have you.
Okay, right, yeah,
but
yeah.
she's not going to do that.
Yeah, okay. 10
There's
to
the
8 would be
sun.
fine.
So there's that, and there's not being able to leave her alone in a room. Bless
And-
So
Andrew's dying.
sorry. Andrew's
so
just
sorry.
choking off Mike over here. And like, he
Going
tried
red
to be...
in the face.
You know what the problem was? It was one big cough, but I tried to contain it and it became a much bigger problem. I'm so sorry.
Do you need a drink?
Do you want to
okay.
get
I'm
that
okay.
in?
I've got a drink. It's okay.
You wanna
Yeah,
go
the
do that?
The problem was the drink went down the wrong hole.
I see.
One of those
bless
ones.
you.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Are you
Dee.
good now?
Yeah, I'm good now. Thank
Sweet
you.
angel Andrew.
Sorry you had to witness that, Dee.
That's okay.
Wow,
Really
sorry, this
amazing.
is usually a professional podcast. If we could keep it together, Andrew, that'd be great. Wow, sorry, Dee. Go on.
The point is, she's a good dog. We're working hard, but it is.
But wait,
is
sleep
work.
is the one thing and leaving the house is the other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I feel are actually two quite enormous things. But other than that,
Yeah, two of the biggest.
I
things.
can't go outside or be asleep. Other than that, I can do whatever I like.
I'm being tortured.
I'm living 20% of a human life, but other than that, it's all
You're
great.
being terrorized in your own home.
A little bit, yeah.
Wow, but she's so cute though.
She's lovely. She's very
so
sweet. She
cute.
cuddles.
Yes,
She's a big cuddler.
so nice.
She doesn't. She's gotten a lot better at like not barking at things.
Were you dating your girlfriend before you started comedy?
So I started. No.
Okay.
So I started at sort of uni and stuff. And
Right,
actually,
okay.
I met my girlfriend at the Edinburgh Fringe.
I've heard of it.
A classic
I
tale.
know.
A classic tale.
She was part of her university a cappella group.
Oh my
That
God.
really narrows down the field of
Oh
university she
my
could have been
God.
at.
Oh yeah, you know the kind.
We do.
Can we guess the
Wow.
name of the a cappella group?
Oh,
Yes.
you can try. Shall I tell you the uni and then you can base it off that?
Can we
Sure.
guess that too? It's got to be Oxbridge.
It's not Oxbridge.
Whoa.
She didn't go to Oxbridge.
I'm gonna guess Leeds.
That wasn't an Oxbridge
Oh.
thing to say. Dee just
She
went.
didn't go to
She didn't go to Oxbridge. I obviously went to Oxbridge.
I'm so sorry.
Leeds.
No.
Is it in the north?
She's
Durham.
from Leeds, though.
Durham.
So
I knew that
that's
was Leeds.
crazy.
I
Durham?
knew that was Leeds.
South. It's the southern one.
Southampton.
More north than that, but that doesn't leave you with. Doesn't help you much.
Bristol.
Very close to Bristol.
Bath.
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 What's the name of the Bath a cappella group that she was part of?
Sing in the shower.
Surely singing.
Listen, you're not a million.
Bath,
miles
Bath,
away.
Bath, Barbaran.
But
No.
That's
I like
very
that.
nice. Very nice.
That's good. I think they were struggling to fit that on the poster though.
Yeah. Ooh.
Is it like a Bath a cappella pun?
It's a pun between the word a cappella and what Bath was known as in Roman times.
Ooh, what was Bath known as in Roman times?
Bath was known as Aquae Sulis.
Oh, these fucking nerds.
Aquapella.
Aquapella.
Fuck off.
Aquapella.
That's so
What-
funny.
And that didn't immediately turn you off.
No, because
If anything, Dee
It's
seems
kinda fun.
intrigued.
Listen.
Aquapella.
in with all due respect to the other UK a cappella groups, they are stunning. They are really excellent. So the other reason why I'm tired is that
Oh god, she's not harmonizing at night.
she's not
She
there.
harmonises
She's
in her
not home
sleep.
at the moment because she's in New York
Doing a cappella?
watching her old a cappella group
Aquapella, please.
in the you know Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a real competition that exists
Right.
between like colleges.
Would she compete?
Well, when she was at uni, so you have to win the UK thing.
Yeah.
And you get to go to the final in New York.
Okay. Did she do that?
She did that twice.
Aqua, excuse
Holy
me?
I know.
Aqua, excuse me. What the hell?
You fucking kidding me? She was queen of the a cappella.
Yeah. So they didn't win the final in New York, but
they got
were
there
the only-
twice.
Yeah, they
That's
got there
still pretty
twice.
cool.
So and they've just got there again. So she's gone.
Do you know what I'll say is
Holy
it's one of
shit.
those things where like it's really uncool unless you get really good at it.
Yeah.
You have to be really good at it. Like, it's like magic. Like magic is so
Yeah,
uncool.
yeah, yeah,
It's
that's
your
so
shit.
true.
And then if you become good at it, it's like, yeah, I'd fuck that guy in a trilby.
Yeah, I hear you. I do hear. I would say I managed to find something that didn't matter that you were the best at it. Still was uncool in
Debate.
university. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one exception.
I
to
was the
rule.
best speaker in Europe, second best speaker in the world at one point, and literally everyone was like, "That's so fucking lame." Like, it's actually worse. It's
Did
actually
you really do debate? Were you like a big debater?
100%. I went all over the world with it with my
Wow.
uni, and I will say that it's actually worse to be good at it. I think because the thoughts of having tried at debate is so much more embarrassing.
It's pathetic.
Whereas a half hour a cappella just seems like pick a lane.
Yeah.
A
Also, I
cappella, who
think
knew?
a cappella does, of course, translate into other musical forms. I feel like music as a whole is not cringe,
Yeah.
but all forms of debate are in
Yes,
some
thank
sense
you.
cringe.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Just to be clear.
What's
No, I got you.
You
dude.
should be
yeah.
ashamed, yeah.
No, thanks,
Sure.
thank you. That's good to clarify. Yeah.
What's her
Thanks.
job in the a cappella group?
Her job.
Yeah, like is she a bass, or is she?
So it's a mixed. You've got all
And
the
those are,
lingo.
those are the options.
Were you also in the Yaka community? I feel like
Oh yeah, I
you're
know.
giving me
what-
those vibes.
Yeah, I'm like Brittany Snow. I got nodes.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're bassy
Pitch
as
Perfect.
hell.
Yeah.
She's a soprano,
Right.
high
Wow.
soprano, and again, not to be rude to the other sopranos of the UK a cappella scene. But she's just simply the best. She's the best. She's so good. No, I know.
So
but like
cute.
it sounds wet because like we're going out, etc., and we have a dog and all that. But like she is so much better at singing than I am at anything. Like it's crazy.
Wow.
Like it's just a bit of a joke.
Is it gay to think your girlfriend's a good singer when she's a
Yeah.
professional singer?
Is that like a job? She's professional.
No,
Oh, sorry, I just
not
assumed.
a lot of money in the a cappella world.
What does she do now? Sorry,
She
you're on this
works-
podcast to promote you, and we're like, wait, what do you move into from
No,
a
you-
Bring
Bring
her on next
Yeah,
time.
I feel like she could be our next guest.
Yeah.
She works for a patent firm, which
Okay.
is just a regular,
Alright.
just a little.
Could she
day
not be in
job,
like
office
musical
job.
theatre? We'd like that. I'd like that.
She does a lot of stuff on the side.
Helen would like that
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you do amateur?
She does, yeah.
Is she in a production currently?
too. Can we
She
do a
is,
Hogs
yeah.
outing?
She's gonna be in a production of Legally Blonde.
We're going. We're going.
An amateur Legally Blonde?
going.
Yeah.
Don't mind if we do. Are we talking community? Or are we talking what level? Like,
We're talking, as far as Amdram goes, I would say as good as Amdram
of
gets.
course you are, but you say that about everything about your partner. You're like,
She's playing Elle Woods.
as dog owners, she's
Velma
Elle
played the
Woods.
dog.
Velma is playing the dog. Velma is Bruiser Woods.
What the hell?
Yeah. She's going to do tricks and stuff on the stage. It's going to be great. You should come.
Yeah, obviously we're coming.
But also, of
When and
course,
where?
she has to be Bruiser because you can't leave her at home while you go to the
Yeah,
show.
that's also true.
That's so
Either I
funny.
would never be able to see it,
Yeah,
or she has to be in the show.
that's amazing.
And
she's
that
gonna
goes
be
for
in the
all
show.
shows that she subsequently does.
Yeah,
like she'll
that's
be
the rule.
she'll
We're
be
gonna have
like
to find-
in Phantom of the Opera. And Velma,
Let's find a way to get a dog in this
Velma
plot.
could
yeah.
be the man.
Velma.
Yeah.
That's intense.
It's all go. It's all happening.
Wow, that's exciting.
That's
Why is-
amazing.
So, I'm just intrigued by somebody with an actual skill on stage coming to see their partner who's a comedian.
Don't say that looking at me.
No. What I mean to say is like, it must be weird to have a performer come watch you perform.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fine. Like,
Okay, fine.
I think it's different. It's such a different kind of vibe.
Does she-
Like there's we already get immediate feedback
Yeah.
about whether it's going well.
Does she come and watch you a lot?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Do you-
Less than
do
she
you like
less than she
that?
used to. Because when I was, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
She's very supportive.
Do you ever run a bit by her?
I have some bits about her that I ran.
They're
I
all
ran
very
by.
nice from
Yeah,
what I can remember.
you've seen.
Yeah,
You've seen.
They're nice. It's nice
It's
stuff.
chill. It's calm. She
Yeah.
comes
Oh,
out,
yes,
she comes
the
out of it
bit
well.
about that.
There's that bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
again,
that's really
translates super well to the podcast.
We're
medium.
being
Do you
filmed.
just
Oh,
do
they
a
filmed.
mime?
For YouTube, it's a joke. I don't know if I should do the joke. It's
Please.
So it's
You know the joke.
about the HR lady. I'm looking right at YouTube now, and I feel like that's bad.
Look down. Tell him, YouTube.
Hi YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
The HR lady at my work was very confused to find out that I was when I told her I was transitioning. She was very confused to find out that I still had a girlfriend, and I thought the only thing that could have been going through. And she asked me if my girlfriend was going to change her pronouns as well.
No,
now that
she
I'd come
didn't.
out as trans.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I do remember now. That's
So
also that actually happened.
this to this to this.
I like
You
it.
know?
I like it.
Yes.
Good finger action. You're missing out if you're listening.
You're missing out. You gotta check out the vid.
Wait, did that actually happen though?
So, not quite. So actually, my girlfriend's HR person asked her if she was going to change her pronouns.
That's so
Because
funny.
you were transitioning.
Because I was transitioning. So it did happen, but it wasn't my person. I
That's
was not in
wild.
the conversation. Isn't
What
that
was she
crazy?
like? What do you even say to that level of like, you've got the jigsaw upside down. Like the book you're reading is back to front. Like
Yeah, none of what has been said has gone in the right way.
yeah,
there.
what?
Or like she thinks there's some kind of like perfect yin and yang that has to be like balanced.
Yeah,
at
the
all
universe
times.
is out of whack.
Yeah.
Now there's
One for
one
one
more
for
lesbian couple than is allowed.
That's wild.
Yeah. People have crazy things to say, man. It's a
Oh.
crazy time.
I have
People have a lot of
no
nuts shit.
doubt about it.
Yeah,
No
on
doubt
YouTube,
about it.
on the social media comments, just so
Do you
much.
think we should like as a community, as a queer community, like employ a bouncer for every trans person to just like deflect all of the shit that you get? And can I nominate myself as that bouncer?
Yes, you may. Yeah, I mean, listen, if there's the budget for it in the queer bursary,
Let's
I don't
check the
know.
some of their
coffers. Let's check the coffers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I could be like a sassy mom.
That would be good.
Do not speak to my daughter. Do not look at my... I'd love to do that. Not quite bouncer energy, but it's still pretty scary.
I think I would take either one of those as long as it was 24/7.
We could alternate.
As long as you could look after the dog when I needed to go somewhere.
12
For
on,
fuck's
12
sake, I
off.
can't take on Velma's problems as well. Come on.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want a security guard per se, but if you're offering, then I'll have dog care.
Yeah, 24/7 dog care would be, helpful, as well as, deflecting the
How about
transphobia.
between, like, Helen Bauer could do a job as well.
Oh, she could absolutely do a job.
We
Sound like I'm talking about like a hard-hitting defensive midfielder. She could do a job.
I always forget that you've got football references
Oh, I've
in your
got football
locker.
references.
Who do you support again?
I support Watford.
Oh yeah, we hate each
Tragic.
other.
Do we?
Not anymore.
I
really.
hate Roy Hodgson. It's not quite the same.
Troy Deeney and Wilfred Zaha and Harry the Hornet, the mascot, had a bit of a altercation, but now Troy Deeney's moved on.
Yeah.
You guys are shit.
Yeah, we're a
Oh, sorry, I should have mentioned I don't care. So, sorry, God, I was like, what that?
People should say that more often. I feel like whenever football comes up in conversation, in sort of a group, I can see one or two people I can see them being
absolutely
trapped.
love going to watch the football. I'll watch it on the TV. I'll have it explained to me in endless detail. Love that. Love knowing what's going on when I'm watching it. Truly no interest in any of that business. And I just realised as you got to the end of the story that I'd let you, and I was like, I should mention.
Do you want to start a football podcast with me?
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Sick.
Maisie. Fuck, it's not as good when I fuck it up.
No,
Is
say it again.
Maisie
We'll cut it
Adam
out.
Busy. That's a tongue twister.
Maisie Adam and I do have a World Cup pitching. Do you want to know what the name of it is called?
I would love to know.
2 Girls, 1 World Cup.
It's good, clean, fun.
It's not clean.
No, but it's
dirty.
good. It's good.
My
Good,
agent
dirty
is
fun.
like in his 50s, like a 50-year-old bloke. And
Did you have to show him the video?
well, he initially his assistant was like, he's never going to send that to the BBC under that name. And I was like, I think he will, because I don't think he'll know what it is. So he sent it to the BBC, and then me and him were having a drink one day. He was like, yeah, that 2 Girls, 1 World Cup thing, it's not a very strong name, because he thought it was in a reference to 2 World Wars, 1 World Cup.
And
I
I
was
was also bad.
I was like, oh no, oh no, Rob, oh no.
Oh
And then I
no.
had to explain to him that it was a porno that circulated in the noughties.
Yeah.
And I really hope he hasn't Googled it.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Wow. So
That's-
yeah.
Have you watched it?
the video?
2 Girls, 1 Cup.
No, stop. That's what a horrible question.
Have you
to ask.
watched it?
No.
I have watched it. Yeah.
You have?
No.
I have watched it.
No, I've never
Have you not watched it? Well, now I feel awful. You set me up. You can't do that. You're like, I'm making media based on this, forbidden thing. Like everyone saw it, but they didn't really, and now you
Did it
haven't
not
seen it.
make you feel so sick?
Yeah, why are you saying it like? Of course it. Why?
Okay.
I haven't implied that it didn't do that. Of course, anyone who's even passingly aware of what is on that video.
Yeah. It's
What do
wild.
you think of me that I wouldn't find that heinous?
Yeah.
I think you're kink shaming.
Who?
Behave
Who?
yourself. Behave
Some
yourself.
kinks deserve to be shamed.
I
That's one of them.
concur.
I agree.
Too right. Put it on a t-shirt. I agree. Yeah. I mean, not to be too earnest, but fuck me. Obviously, we have loads of trans listeners and loads of genderqueer listeners, and it's like hard not to be just like, wow, what a fucking horrendous time to be moving through the world.
Yeah.
Get yourself a freaking dog if you want.
Yeah, a dog or a
Bouncer.
lesbian bouncer. That'd
Yeah.
be great, yeah.
It should be a lesbian bouncer.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
agree.
for sure.
I
Otherwise,
agree. Yeah, no, you're right.
that's just not the right vibe.
No, and
Thank
most.
you for providing the
Most-
right
You're
vibes.
I was going to say something controversial, which is just that most of the turfs I know are like old school lesbians, so at least you'd have a lesbian to talk to a lesbian.
And I'd be able to take them down. I think like big men I wouldn't be able to physically match up with, but
You could distract him with the football chat.
I believe that
You could take
here's a
J.K.
bold
Rowling
claim.
in a fight.
Here's a bold claim. I think I could win in a fight of any turf in the UK.
Oh, for sure.
I think
I love
any
that.
turf in the UK, I could win in a fight.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because they got no spine.
Yes, very
Am I
nice.
right?
Email us if you're a turf listening. Shocked you made it to episode 84, to be honest. But
If you're a turf and you want to fight me, I 100% will go in the ring with
what's
you.
the email address?
100% go in the ring.
TrustyHogs@gmail.com.
All right,
Wow.
I'll start a turf
huge.
folder.
Didn't think we'd be doing this today.
We're
did you? There
making
you are.
moves in the UK. I don't know what. I don't even know what it is, but moves are being
turf
made.
fighting arena. I think. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Great.
Turf fights. Turf fights is a catchy name.
Yeah,
Turf
wars.
wars.
Wait, isn't that what Isn't that what J.K. Rowling called her little essay that she wrote when she came out as a TERF? You called it TERF Wars.
Fuck you!
Sorry,
We're not
taken.
saying coming out as a term. They don't get to have that. There's no celebration.
When she revealed herself from behind her cloak.
Her mask. Yeah, wow.
Turf wars, though, we've
Turf
got to
war-
take it.
How did it take me so long? I was like, turf fights, turf
Turf-
club, turf arena,
Turf and surf.
turf and
Turf and surf.
and that's why she's the writer and should stick to it. So, yes, we have basically got a long list of problems that we get emailed in from our listeners. Would you be willing to help us solve one?
Absolutely.
Before we do, what kind of advice giver do you think of yourself as?
I think, so obviously I grew up, male.
Sure.
Male presenting. I moved through the world as a male. So I think,
Until what age?
Until about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
So I think in those first 20 odd years,
Yeah.
very much the kind of is what it is. School of advice, just like
Because
yeah.
you were speaking majoritively, giving advice and being asked for advice from men, or because that was the limitation of what you felt was expected of you?
I think both.
Right.
I think I just it's just like
Interesting. Okay.
most of the time people would not ask for advice.
Okay, great.
But when they came up with something that was bad, rather than helping,
yeah,
as a man, you're just like,
it is what it is.
Do you
cheers or whatever, like there's nothing else to be said.
Feminine response. Cheers. Or like whatever.
Do you think you're getting better at it now?
I do. It's weird. It's changed my whole life. Would you believe?
But do you
coming
think that's
out.
because people are responding differently to you now?
I think people are more likely to ask for advice or kind of open up in that way, which is fun. And I think I'm more, I'm better placed to open up in return.
It's good shit.
It's good shit.
When the girlies are around, do you know what I mean?
Oh my god, it's the best.
When
It is.
you're with your girlfriends.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. I'm a big fan.
It's good, isn't it?
Like this.
Isn't it nice to gab with the gals? How
Yeah.
exciting. Okay, well then let's get some advice to your door
All
immediately, please. We need some problems. Let me just say, by the way, this is our second attempt on air at doing a problem. The reason we couldn't do the first is because a person wrote in with their problem, and every time Andrew got to the serious part of it, Chloe Pets would start laughing.
I just had a funny thought in my head, and then once I got the giggles, okay?
Okay, well, let's try some empathy.
Okay.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Let's go again.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Okay. This is from R.
Hi, R.
It says, trigger warning, it's me. This is somebody who has emailed in a few times. I realise you don't know who this is, but they have emailed in a few times. There's normally a little trauma dump by their own admission. So there will be some reference to abuse, but not actually getting in depth. It's just a passing reference.
Okay, but good trigger warning for the listener.
Yes. So my mental health has been in a really good place at the moment.
Woohoo!
I've been binge watching all the TrustyHogs episodes on YouTube, which, given the chaos of some episodes, sounds like a contradiction, but it actually isn't.
Nice.
All the hoggy goodness means you've inspired me to get back into writing.
Ah.
I believe, contextually from the email, writing comedy.
Ah.
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
They have a bit that they're working on. I won't get into the exact bit, but it references abuse. I won't go into all the details. But the question that they have is, how do I write comedy about such dark topics without turning everyone in the audience into suicidal Sally?
As she is known.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, any sort of help writing comedy about the darker depths of mental health and trauma would be much appreciated. P.S. I have had and am having trauma therapy. I'm all good. Thank you, R.
That is a
That's
very
lovely.
reassuring addendum. Any thoughts?
I mean, firstly, good that you're taking the real actual steps in life rather than just being like, how can I turn this into comedy?
Oh my God, correct.
The
So
real
it's-
steps, you got to have the real steps.
Definitely.
Comedy's not a real step.
Yeah, it's not therapy.
It
Very
feels
well
like
observed.
it might be therapy, but it's not. It's actually the opposite.
So well observed. Yeah.
So that's the first thing.
Congrats.
So that's good. I think I think everyone. The point of turning something like that into comedy is that people in the audience will be able to relate to some aspect of the difficult stuff. And I think when you have kind of, if you find a way to approach it that people can relate to, then and as long as you make them feel like safe and like they know that you're okay and all that while they're listening to you talk, then it's kind of fine. And just you just get it out. You write the jokes you want to write. That didn't sound like advice at all.
No, I think
just
it
go
did.
for it.
Fucking do it.
I think what you're saying though is essentially treat it like other material, which I think is quite good advice in the sense that like I do think with trauma stuff it's quite easy to be like, this is my precious story, because it is your precious story, and it's harder to be objective about that material. So I do think that you shouldn't write it and put it out there until you're willing to have to be able to work it like you would work it any other bit, which is to say that if it's not working, you throw it away and you don't think, well, they just can't handle it, or I'm just like, I think that's an important aspect of this stuff, is that you treat it like other jokes. I also, from a safety point of view for yourself, genuinely, I would say like, and I mean like safeguarding thing, I would say like very early on in my career, I did a show where I mentioned having OCD, and I actually wish I hadn't. I don't regret the show. I think it's a good show on Amazon Prime. But I regret spaffing an interesting story about myself when I was the least good at comedy I will ever be.
Oh, that's so true.
It's like the hardest stuff to talk about when I was the least prepared and capable. So that's it. One, I think I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I would have started with something a little bit more joyful and lighter and easier to manage. And secondly, I would say that I was not at all prepared for, and you do have to be prepared for, if you're going to talk about it on stage, the level of feedback via people at the in the space. So like a feeling of like a joke not going well is one thing. A feeling of like you sharing your trauma being rejected is a whole nother feeling. I wasn't ready for people waiting at the door to tell when it had gone well to tell me that they had experienced the same thing in great detail. I wasn't prepared for the level of messages I got that really should probably have gone to GPs. So, like, just, I would say be mindful of the fact that it will have consequence, and you don't, just be ready and just make sure you're okay first is all I'd say.
I would imagine that one of the reasons that this listener wants to share that story is partially to help other people, but I imagine, like, wishing to exert a certain control over the narrative and be in charge of the narrative. But I think, bouncing off from what you're saying, Catherine, just because you're in charge of the telling of the story, you're not in charge of the reception of how people are going to receive that story. And you are probably opening yourself up to a lot more emotional labour than you probably wish to get into.
To be clear, like, I definitely think people have done this amazingly well, right? I don't want to put people off.
But I think the point is right, where it's like, within your first 3, 4, 5 years of comedy, all you need to do is get really comfortable being on stage and used to writing a joke. And if there's something within your life that is so on the surface and so emotionally fraught that you can't stop thinking about it, then you might feel like a bit of a fraud getting on stage and not talking about it. But just remind yourself, we're all playing characters when we're up there. You're not a fraud. I think it's just, if you... I don't wish to discourage this person from talking about whatever they want to talk about. But I think, just for like a self-protection and just like an improving at comedy, it kind of doesn't matter what you're talking about. It's getting on stage and it's telling jokes.
Agreed.
What I found quite helpful is obviously like there's a lot of stuff about coming out that's quite tough, but like I think just kind of telling jokes that are kind of tangential to the tough stuff. Not like about excuse me, not like about the really awful stuff, but are just kind of offshoots that are related, help kind of exorcise that feeling like you've got something that you just need to say.
So dipping your toe rather than wading in.
Yeah, exactly.
And it might get to a point where you're 5-10 years on from, the initial trauma of it or the initial difficulties, and you're a 5-10 years better comedian. You can go back to it then and mine it. But I think, if you do want to talk about that stuff, the advice I would give is just make sure you're always coming from like a position of control and power, where you're showing the audience, I've got this. You don't need to worry about me.
Oh yeah, if they're worried about you, they won't laugh. That's so true.
Yeah. So it's just finding a way of being like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
In a funny way.
Yeah, and also I think like if you do decide to write it and come back to it, like, I think writing it is absolutely wonderful. Will probably be cathartic, will probably be useful. It doesn't mean you have to say it on stage.
Yeah.
Wish to a degree I'd done that with some of my stuff, is like write it down and be like, okay, let's see how I feel about that in a year, if that still feels true, especially when stuff is very, in a way, I had a big breakup during lockdown, and in a way I was glad that I wasn't able to talk about it straight away on stage.
Yeah.
Because some of my initial thoughts that I wrote down, they were fine, but they weren't true of how I felt 6 months later. And I'm glad I didn't say them. Not because they were like mean or anything, but just because I hadn't processed any of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that was an like instinctual self-protective first reaction. It wasn't how I objectively, you know what I mean? So I think if you're still in it, be mindful of that. But mainly I just think like comedy can be cathartic in more than just like opening our veins. Like it can be cathartic because it can allow you to identify as a person who's been through trauma and now has a really good time on stage. And like theoretically, like when I was in hospital for mental health, like it wasn't a case of like being on stage and having a job that is comedy is enough of a like, I fucking took my life back. I got my life back. I don't also need to like
re-traumatize yourself
every single time for anybody. Nobody's owed that.
And also like, we are talking here about performing comedy, but there are other avenues where you could express comedy. So it's like, could you write a screenplay, or there's something where you can go a little bit darker and people like, it's a more like vast medium that you can.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, if it was a screenplay, it wouldn't have to be you in it. Like, obviously there's also your experiences in it, but it's not the same as when you're doing stand-up and it's like, well, who else is this going to be about?
And, also there's a little bit more like the audience are like more consenting to what it is that they're consuming, so they'll be able to like read a blurb and see that it's like, these trigger ones. Like if you're doing like a full hour show, like they'll be able to consent to that, but if you're like on a lineup doing 5 minutes.
And also I'd say, I don't know if you guys have found this, and maybe it's specific to, because a lot of my material when I first started out was also about being queer, and I had no other setting, which is fine, right? Like I'm incredibly proud of being queer and I love talking about it and I think it has massive impact. But because I didn't have much material, I had no other setting, which meant that when I walked into spaces where it wasn't going well or they were objectively homophobic, safety-wise, I had no other place to go on stage for my own sense of self-protection and just like giving yourself something that isn't entirely personal as one of your first bits is kind of like a safety thing when you are a like minority or or you're talking about, or the things that are personal are vulnerable. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think I've found that like, because I can't do that as well as some other minorities, like I can't hide from an audience in
absolutely
Portsmouth or whatever.
And to be clear,
like,
I always
be like,
said it.
What's going on there?
Yeah.
So I kind of have to at least reference it, and like, it's very much a privilege that I didn't realize I had before I came out.
Yeah.
That you can just kind of hide your whole self if you want to.
Yeah.
So I think if you can find a way to do that, then start there and then just kind of work your way outwards rather than the other way around.
To be clear, I'm definitely not advocating hiding your whole self in the sense that like
you don't have to make it. You don't have to make it personal all the time.
It's definitely
forever.
a privilege to not have to like explain myself until I want to.
Yeah.
But I also have made a point of always saying it on stage because I agree. I think that is a massive privilege. But also even I feel like there are gigs where people will be like, we don't mind that you're blah, just why do you have to talk about it so much? And obviously you want to be like, fuck you, I'm out, but you got to do your time. And sometimes if there are things that you can give them that are, God, maybe I'm being like a complete, I'm just describing capitulation.
It's self-protection though. It's like, why would you put yourself through that for 20 minutes when you don't need to?
I guess the thing I do, to be honest with you, is less write material because I'm not interested in writing things I'm not interested in about, but I will just talk to the audience if I don't want to be like, here's my trauma story.
I think I've got a couple of routines that I know that I've written out of like being really fucking angry, like really pissed off at the way someone's treated me. And I think those routines have been quite cathartic because like it's essentially like going, how can I write this where I'm the winner? And how can I have like won over that person that like made me feel so small? And I think like seeing stand up as a creative space where you don't have to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Do you know what I mean? Like you can fabricate a bit, and you can almost like exercise those demons by like giving yourself a different outcome, because you get to go on stage every day and go, yeah, this guy fucked me over, but this is my revenge essentially. You know, I
am just sat here sort of like, and I appreciate that we are 3 white women in a context of like lots of privilege, having like gone into comedy with like a bunch of things in our favor, but also I am really proud of all the queer comics I know. I do feel like it's so
well done, guys.
No, but I actually do think there's like an extra step of like taking a breath before you walk on stage.
Oh yeah,
Andrew, you know this, where you're like, this might be a safety thing. Like you go out and you go, God, I hope they don't like my, as in I assume other comics go on and are like, I hope they like my jokes, which is already quite exposing. And then also like, and also don't make me feel physically unsafe. You're a badass.
Yeah, but it's just like when you go to like, I don't know, Warwick, and you walk into
you can't just name a whole city.
You just walk into a stand-up club, and you're like, any gays in? And it's silence. You're like, oh,
I know.
Oh no.
I know, but that must be, like you say, so much harder again when you feel like you can't, like you have to explain or justify yourself.
I mean, I feel like I don't. I've had this conversation with comedians before where I've said I feel like I have to explain first, and they're like, just do it later or not at all. It's fine.
Yeah, but that's like, so privileged.
Yeah, it doesn't really work though.
Yeah,
because they're not listening. Like especially if they're the kind of audience who you really need to get on side. If they don't give you the benefit of the doubt, then they're not the kind of audience that are going to just go with you talking about something else when you're presenting.
100%.
It's like they're going to have questions because they don't know what the fuck is going on because they live in 1973.
Warwick.
But also you only know what you know.
One
right?
and the same.
No, but it's true. Like there are certain spaces. If I'm at a queer gig in Hackney and I say my girlfriend, I don't need to be like, oh, sorry guys,
by the way,
I'm gay, and then do a bit about that. But if I say my girlfriend and I'm incredibly femme presenting in the middle of like nowhere, and they're like,
would you like me to name another place? Swindon.
I was going to say Portsmouth, but yeah, like, they're not just going to let it lie. So yeah, you're right. And when people have questions, they are distracted and can't laugh. Have we really got off topic?
No.
I feel like
I
haven't listened, as I say, every episode, but this feels very sincere. Is that
It's because Helen's not here. She hasn't broken it yet.
It's not like
Helen would usually have broken it. Someone would be thrown down a well at this point. She would have threatened to like drop her tit on someone's head.
Right.
She'd be like, oh, just say everything. Say you hate your family. Say whatever you want. Say.
Go start a new life in Mexico if it doesn't work.
Last week, I was in maths club. I talked about how my dad likes to wank. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know? That's the kind of thing.
Michael, he just likes to do it next to the sewers.
What an astonishing neg from we've never had a guest who's been like, so to be clear, is this usually funny or like
sorry,
what's the deal?
sorry that we were listening to you,
Yeah,
Dick.
could you guys sort of some more jokes, please? My God.
Fucking hell. Sorry that we were giving you space to chat and
Sorry,
speak.
Dee. Wow.
No,
my goodness
I worry
me.
that I, as the only part of this that has never been here before.
No, you haven't changed
was
the
bringing the mood
You
to
also
a sincere
nice, not you.
No.
What it is that
Unnecessarily so, perhaps.
I'm nowhere near as funny as Helen Bauer.
See,
That
that's
is
not
the
true.
And
issue.
nor am I, but I do love to work with her, so people think we have a dynamic. It's like, she just is. Oh God, it's getting too sincerely like we like Helen now. We can't have that. Dee,
Yes.
will you be at the Edinburgh Fringe?
In some capacity, probably.
Fantastic. If people want to find you online with compliments only,
Please.
where could they do so?
Why did you make it sound like there wouldn't be compliments?
Well, I thought it was the compliments only. That was
Well,
the
I
point.
assume the TERFs have tuned in because you're threatening to fight them. So I'm just
Oh,
saying,
yeah,
like,
sick.
I'm
Like a
to
homing
Oh
beacon.
no, am I going to get some
The
backlash?
TERFs will tune in once they hear their name called. They'll be on you like a rash.
What do you think the TERFs like cool would be? Like, you know, in like a
It would be a toilet flush.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Or like XX or something.
Nice.
You know?
We should get over there.
Yeah.
But if they want to find you online to be appropriate, where would they find you?
They would find me on D_Allum on
Great.
all social media platforms.
ALLUM?
ALLUM.
Don't say all of them.
Most
TikTok?
social media. Yeah.
Twitter?
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah. LinkedIn? No. Don't find me on LinkedIn.
Great. Well, you can find Dee. Dee, thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest.
Yay for Dee Allum!
Yeah.
Yeah.